Can you recover a native ultimate 14.5-foot kayak using a flip line? We'll find out this week on Kayak Hacks. In one of my recent videos, I recommended people put this additional flotation using pool noodles into their ultimate 14.5-foot kayaks, because then you could reach underneath and do the pull and flip technique to do a self-recovery, given the additional buoyancy that would provide. One of the viewers said, "Hey, why don't you try a flip line?" And that's what I'm going to do today. Now, I can't attach it to the side because there's no carry straps, but what I can do is use the lip underneath the gunnel. And thank you for other viewer for correcting my pronunciation. Hey, I'm an Army guy. That's a Navy thing. And what I can do is I can take the carabiner and stick it underneath there and use that to flip. Now, what I'm going to assume is that most people will have a tow rope or stand-up assist rope, and given most of us fish in flat water or very calm rivers, we're not going to have the flip line wrapped around our waist like a whitewater guy would. So the scenario is I'm going to flip, I'm going to disconnect it from my front carry strap, come around, attach it to the gunnel, throw it over, and then execute the flip line technique. Let's see how it works with the additional flotation. My feet are not touching the bottom as I'm doing this test. I'm floating in the pool. So I've disconnected my stand-up assist. Now I'm going to the middle of the kayak. I've attached the carabiner to the inside of the gunnel. That goes over. Obviously, if you're doing this for record, you never let go of your kayak. Okay, the technique is you put your feet up against the kayak and then you pull on the rope to flip it over. Pulling it over scoops all the water into the interior of this native kayak. Let's give it another shot. Okay, I've emptied all the water out of the inside, so I've got the maximum buoyancy right now, so this should be the best case. I've got about an inch of free space here below the gunnels. It's bailable. Well, while I'm at it, let's try the lunge, grab, and pull technique and see if that's any different. So I'm floating. Clearly that's a loser as well. So maybe the problem is that the gunnel on these boats is so far inside that when you pull, it has more of a scoop action. So this time, let's assume that we're not a recreational paddler, but a fishing kayaker, and we have a rod holder in here, and we'll attach the carabiner to the rod holder. Now the risk I'm taking here is that pulling on this may damage my gear track, but I'm willing to do that just to see if this works. Because if you flipped, you're in a desperate situation anyway. So I've got the most water possible out. Now let's give it a shot. Okay, that's a pretty good result. I've got about 4 inches here, and I could now bail that out and get back in the boat. let's do the scenario where I don't have the additional flotation stuck up under the gunnels of this Native Ultimate 14.5 footer. And let's see if the flip line technique will help me get this thing recovered. Remember, in the previous video, in only about 1 or 2 tries out of the 20 or so that I tried, I was able to flip this using the pull and push technique without a flip line and have it recoverable. In all the other situations, the water was up above the gunnels, causing Native, when they responded to my question on this, to tell me that it's nearly impossible to get back in because, as I pointed out, it fills with water. So let's see how this will work. In this first scenario, I'll attach the carabiner to the inside of the gunnel. And then I'll do another one with a rod holder on, and we'll see if there's a difference and whether the flip line technique allows me to recover. So the boat is clearly floating lower in the water without that additional flotation that I installed. So let's go ahead and hook it up. It's unrecoverable. You can see the water sloshing over the gunnels. Clearly that's not going to work. Same results I had with the pull and push technique without the additional flotation. Let's put a rod holder on there and see what happens. Well, this is clearly another fail. Using a flip line does not improve the recoverability of this kayak, whether I hook the carabiner underneath the gunnel or to a rod holder. The flip line is a lot easier because you don't have to tread water and then grab and push. If you don't have a rod holder, so what do we learn from all this? That the flip line, when you have the additional flotation under the gunnels, works about the same as the pull and flip. However, using the flip line requires a lot less strength. So I'm going to recognize that I can use my stand-up assist rope as a flip line. I'm going to put my flotation back in, and then I'll be marginally okay given the safety design of this particular kayak. If any experts on self-recovery have a better idea of how to recover this wide open half canoe, please put them in the comments below, because I and the other Native owners would really appreciate that. Take care.